Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today we are going to be doing another deep dive into
LumaFusion, especially the timeline.
Absolutely. But first we're going to kick off with a brand new track by your friend and mine in the skip. It's Kev Hard, and this is Metal Shack Skip Hoka. Metal Shack, yes. Skip Hoker. Kind of like Skip Poker. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. My name is Jade Starr. This is How to App on iOS. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome also to our Wart Warriors. I think when did I do this yesterday? It just popped up again, so we can do it again. Go away, Wart Warriors. Things. Joe Glenn is a Wart Warrior. You can become a Wart Warrior by clicking the link in the description. It takes you to the little join button. You can join for $1 a month and have your own emojis and stuff. They'll get updated tomorrow. They will do. I'm a little bit choked up. Sorry. Because I received some really bad news just before the show. It's quite heartbreaking, actually. And it's altered my decision on what show I'm doing on the weekend. So if you haven't heard already, Olivia Newton-John has passed away today. Really sad stuff, man. Like I grew up in a household where her music was played every day, pretty much. Having two sisters, Grease and Grease 2, even though she wasn't in that, but Xanadu. Her films were constantly played on our VHS recorder. I know all of the songs from those movies backwards. And I mean, amazing story, really, for her to even last to the age that she did at 73, because, I mean, she was battling cancer for many years, so heartbreaking stuff. And I think I'm going to play some of her music today around my home. I know it's going to be upsetting, and I don't even want to hear it right now because I know it's going to set me off. When somebody like this passes away, it's always like the first thing you do is go listen to their music. I couldn't do it before the show. It would kill me. It would absolutely destroy me. It is what it is. And we have her music. We have her films. She was an Australian icon, and it has led me to very quickly set up a show for this weekend where now I will be doing an opening hour tribute to Olivia Newton-John, and I will do my very best to sing some of her most famous songs and film songs, and hope to fuck I don't get a copyright strike. So that is happening on this show now. That has dictated my show. I've changed my plans because she's amazing. And, she's a part of my childhood. So I feel like I have to do this. It is what it is, There we go. So devastating stuff. Let's say hello to everybody who's here today. Hello, Dave Fox. Hello, Audible Video. Jim Shannon on Sounds. Saif, and good to see you. Thomas Christ, hello. John Frank Songs, hello to you. Who else do I see? I saw Russ here as well. Let's scroll to the bottom. Joe Glenn is here. Gary Hubbs, Dan Eckberg, hello to you. Thomas Christ is here. Rock and roll. Gary's lurking. I hope you got my message on Discord, Gary. You can save your presets and save them somewhere. And then you can uninstall and reinstall the app if you want to. It absolutely is, Russ. It is my duty to do a show tribute to Olivia Newton-John. As an Australian citizen, it absolutely is my duty, 100%. Wolfstone Studio, hello to you. Do I see Pandas here as well? Can't find in the chat. There's Panda. Hello to you. Did I get you all? I think I got you all. All right. I've got Olivia Newton-John songs tearing in my head. I can hear them. My heart is not the fuck off. I can't do it. It'll fucking kill me. We've got a show to get on with, and I can't get sucked into that shit right now. Right. What a bizarre piece of news to find out just before the show. So let's head over and do this. Let's check up on some updates. So it is 808 day. Yes, today is 808 day. Happy 808 day. It's not here in Australia. It's actually 908 day. It was yesterday in Australia, but I didn't mention it yesterday because, you know, the majority of people who come on the show live in the past. I live in the future. So, but happy 808 day. And AudioKit have dropped their pseudo bass 808 synth down from $3.99 to $2.99. That is, yeah. I have to do it, Wolfstone. I have no choice. I have no choice. As Russ said, it is my duty. It's fucked, man. I wish it. Remember, I was saying to Russ in the chat before in a Clubhouse. Didn't she have that husband who went missing at sea or whatever? That dodgy dude. Whatever happened to that dude? Why couldn't he have died instead? Nice one, Alphonse. You saved me from that terrible line there. Kajita, $7.99 to $6.99. Kushiba, the distant relative, $7.99 to $6.99. Yukawa, a cousin, $7.99 to $6.99. Tone Stack is on sale, $9.99 to $4.99, and I'm assuming too that the in-app purchase would be on sale. Don't quote me on it, but it would make sense. Hello, Camp Gmail. What is going on, Gary? Good to see you. Euclidean's on sale as well. Base Leveler, Terra Pro, all the Bleece apps, all in a row. Duck, duck, shoot 'em all, boom, boom, bang. What the fuck am I talking about? Who fucking knows? Agonizer, Popsicle. There's a whole bunch of really good apps on sale. Swarm Instruments, Beat Hawk, Ravenscroft on sale. And remember, Pure Upright on sale from yesterday. Thomas Ghislaine mentioned in the chat yesterday with the Pure Upright that there was a bug, and he did reach out to them, and they did recreate the bug and have let us know that that bug will be fixed. So if you've bought it or you're thinking about buying it, there is a little bug and it will be fixed. So that's good news. Oh, thanks, Jim. It's very kind of you. Thank you very much for the kind super chat. In a minute, there he is. There's our man dancing up the top. Thank you very much. And what are we looking at today? We are looking at LumaFusion. LumaFusion. This is part 2 of our expose on LumaFusion. If you want to go back a couple of weeks, I did a beginner's guide to LumaFusion, just having a look at the basics. Last week, did a show on the import the media library, and today we're going to look at the timeline. And you might get a few little tricks and tips out of it that you didn't know. And you might not. You might know all this stuff. But it's good to go over this because we have Songtember coming up next month, where over on Pete John's channel, over here as well, I encourage you to create a song in September and submit it and release it and do all that kind of stuff. And the reason I'm covering this is to just touch up on some skills, maybe give you a little bit of something you didn't know, so you've got something new to make a video clip during Songtember. What is going on, Welton Kinder? Good to see you. So LumaFusion is $29.99. There you go. Hello, Omni Collective Creativity. It is $29.99, and it has an in-app purchase, a subscription for all the images and videos and stuff. We'll talk about that. Let's open it up, shall we, and get down to business. Okie dokie, smoky pokey. This is what you see when you open up LumaFusion. What is LumaFusion? It is a video editing piece of software that can be used on your Mac, on your iPad, on your iPhone. It is universal. You can share projects across all of these devices if you so desire, and you can make some incredible videos with this stuff. You have 6 video channels and 6 audio channels. And 6 of those video channels have audio in them too. We need to create, so last week we looked at this section here, which is the media library. Today we're going to be looking around down here. So we need to make a project first to kick it off, because I have no projects in here. I have an empty slate. And down the bottom here is where we create a brand new project. And look at that, I clicked the wrong one. We want to go down here and we want to name this. So we'll just call it demo. And here is our project. So here's our timeline. This is the section we are going to be focusing on today. So shall we have a look at this section over here first? Can I zoom? No, I can't. That won't help. So down here, these two buttons, when I click on these, if I get my mouse in the right place, you'll see these two little panels disappear here. These two little panels. And these represent, if we open this one first, we'll cover these little like mute buttons and locking buttons and stuff like that. And this one, it looks like the little volumes, that's exactly what they are. They are volumes for each track, so that we put in here. Now, the main video track that you will be using to create video is highlighted down here. So this highlighted bar is your main video track. This is where everything begins. And everything underneath will be an audio track. And let's show you how to do this. So we'll bring in a video, a piece of stuff here. What do we want to do? I want to go to photos. We want to scroll to cached media because I have some videos already in here that I can drag. Let's bring in the dancing man just to start off. Here's the dancing man. We all love the dancing man. Look at him go. Look how sexy he is. Let's make him full screen just so you can bask in his hotness. There he goes. Wow, what a beast. What a beast that man is. Look at him go. He's, oh. Don't you just want to buff him? There he is, dancing man. So this is our first. So to do that, we just dragged something from our media library here into the screen. So I just grabbed it from here and just dragged it into our timeline. Pretty easy stuff. But before we do that, let's have a look at the time. Let's have a look at dragging things in first. What about dragging things in and being able to edit them before we bring them into the timeline? And then we'll go back and we'll discuss this stuff down here. So let's remove this. We'll hit our delete. When you click on an image over here, you are given a preview of the video or the photo that you are going to bring in, or the audio file. If you're using a sound effect or a music file, it populates in this window here for you to play around with. And if you hit play over here, you can get a preview so you can see your timeline moving across here. So why is this handy? Because you may not want to import the entire clip. You may only want to import a section of this. So if I move my timeline to, let's drag this, so you can drag this little meter around. I might want to start this here. And I want to start it with that stupid look on his face, yeah? So there's two ways I can crop this before I bring it into the timeline. There's these little handles on the end here that I can drag to that point, if I like. Or I can move the timeline to there, and you've got the same timeline little buttons here. See on the end here on your little transport? And if I click this one, it automatically moves to where your timeline image is, so your line. If I move this to here, we'll stop it there. And again, I can go down here and just trim it within there. So you've got two ways to shrink this to your desired size. And you'll notice in the middle, there's this little arrow now. And if I hold down on this, I can move this anywhere within the video and keep the same length of video, which is pretty cool, yeah? So if you've already decided, hey, I've got a clip that I want to import into my video, it has to be exactly 2 seconds, or what have we got? 5, let's make it 5 seconds. It has to be 5 seconds. And now I can move this around and get whatever I want in there at that exact length. And then I can drag that in. Now, there's a few ways you can drag this into your profile, into your timeline down here. The first way is, now that you've created this little edit here, you can drag it from the media library, like so. We'll do that again. Like so. And it's kept. Did it work? No, it didn't do it. It didn't. Oh, man, I lost my image there. We'll do that again. we'll click on it. Oh, yeah, so it did do it. There you go. See? So we've only got this 304. So we can drag this in now and see it's only a small part. I'll try that again. God, I'm really having good times with the mouse today. So it's only kept that little bit in there. Nice. So the other way to bring it into our scene is you can actually hold down. So we can bring it into our preview here, and you can hold down on the video from here and drag it in. So you've got that option as well. And the other way is to use this little button over here, which is add to timeline. So if I click that, it pops it into the timeline. So you've got 3 ways to bring that in to your timeline. Really nifty stuff. Now what happens up here if I press play twice? Do you see what happened then when I press play twice? Now if I hit play again, let's go back here to now hit play. We've got it brings up this little thing here, like a little repeat. See, so you can actually press that and you can get a loop going if you'd like. So all these buttons have extra kind of things that you can do. Again, with this these 2 buttons here, you can actually move frame to frame. So you can move from point to point as well. So you can see if I go back to the start and if I hit here, it will move to the beginning of my selected part, then to the end of my selected part, and then to the end of the entire clip. So you can move around very easily like that. Now, if I hold down on the play button, look what happens. You can finely tune and you can move 1 frame at a time. And the further you go down here, the faster it actually starts moving. So within this, you can really get granular with this. If we bring this back in here, and I'm just holding down the play button and it brings up this special timeline here. So another thing you may not have known about, just to get really granular to make sure you've got the exact amount of video that you want to drag into your clip. So that's really handy as well. Plus, you have these little points that you can put in here. So these little markers. So let's take the timeline back to the start. If we click on this marker, it comes up with a little text window here for us. And we can put in, like, name it start. And that's done. So now in our clip, what have I done here? What have I done there? Let's go back here. We've got this little marker in there. Now I might want to move to this point and just add a marker in here and say, at this point, dude's ugly. He looks ugly in this point. Yeah. And then I might want to put another marker, just say over here, where I'm like, I don't like this part of the video. I don't like this. I don't want to use this. So I can go and put a marker in here and I can change the color of it and say, I'm going to color this that color and give it a name, hit the edit and say, like, let's remove this. Don't need, something like that. So now we've got all these markers. So I know in this clip, and what's cool, once you put a marker on these, it stays like this in your cache, in your media library, whatever it is that you're doing. So these little points, they'll stay wherever you go. And if you start moving the arrows around, not only are you moving, you're moving to these points now. So notice that I moved and it stopped on one of the markers. So I can see that part I don't want to use. And if I choose a different file here and then go back to this, all those markers will stay there. Even if I do, like, check this out. This is really cool. If I go and do a search now and write don't need, it found that video. He popped up. See how it popped up there? What the hell? So it actually will, did it work? Hang on, we go here, all. So there you go. I hit don't need. Let's do our search, see if it works. It should work. It's doing a search. What are you doing? No, don't go to Dropbox. What's happening here? Hang on. That's weird. Oh, there. Man, I just updated this today too. Let's try it again. We'll try, just put need, see if that comes up. Need, and hit go. There you go. Look at that. I put the word need in and it came up. I don't know why it's trying to load me into Dropbox. Why the fuck would you be doing that, dude? I have no idea what is happening here. What is Dropbox? Yes, allow. Okay, just if you want to log me in, log me in. Sweet. So yeah, it found that photo. Sweet. Really good stuff. Easy to do. And yes, Dropbox. I'm connected now, you bitch. All right, so another thing you can do in here is if we click on this, we'll go back up here to our, where have we gone? Where's our cached media? There's the dancing man. So you'll see all these tags have been remembered. That's really cool. And just say, I covered this in another video as well. We'll click on this again, on the dancing man. Just say I want to change. See, we've got this little piece of footage down here that we've added. So we've added this footage down here. I want to keep this the same length as what it is. So this 2 minutes, 2 seconds, 13. But I don't like this section anymore. I don't like this section. So you can actually click on the file and see these two little arrows, the lines with the arrows. If I now click on this, I can now move this part anywhere along this timeline and choose a different section of it. So I can choose this section instead. And then when I let go, now this part down here has been replaced with that. So you can actually replace a file and keep the same level there. So that's a little look at this preview section, which is very, very handy. We'll have a look at the information too. So if you click on information, you get information about the clip. So it'll tell you, we'll zoom in a little bit. So you can see clip dancing man, it tells you the frames per second, so it's 1280 by 720, 16 by 9. It gives you all of the measurements, how much, how big the file is. So you've got a little information section there as well. Lovely jubbly. Also over here, not only does this file here drop the folder, the image, the video, or the music or whatever it is, you have an undo button and a redo button. These are very, very, very helpful, and you'll need to remember them because they will get you out of situations that you've fucked up a video. Trust me, they are very helpful. So let's have a look now at the timeline. So we'll bring in a couple of things here. Let's just drag this little clip in here. So again, I'm just very easily grabbing things and throwing them in simply like that. So now we've got a few, just 3 little clips in here. Maybe we can bring in, what else can we bring in? Let's add, let's go into my files here. And we'll do a search for a video. What do we got? Let's grab this horrible thing of me sitting outside with my drone. And I want to bring this into LumaFusion. What's really cool, if you want to bring any video files or anything like that into LumaFusion through the Files app, look at this. You've got this permanent button up here that just says Open in LumaFusion. Very well integrated. So now that has been added into my imported other app section. And here it is here. Again, we can trim this to whatever we like, do whatever we want to it. I'm just going to grab it and drag it into the timeline. In fact, what I'm going to do is put it on the line above, like so. So now we've got a few pieces of video in here. Let's talk about this section over here. This is where your volume controls are. So I mentioned at the start, clicking these out here and bringing them back in. This one here is your volume. So you can control your volume of each individual track. You've got a mute button, so you can silence that volume if you've got a video track and you don't need the volume, so you've got all that. And you also have things, these little eyeballs here. So if I click on one of these eyeballs, it will completely remove anything from that channel. If I go up here, I can remove this video, and the same with everything above. We also have these lock buttons that I can click. So if you click on one of these, it means that this, whatever's in this channel here, this laneway, will not be fucked up if you accidentally bump it or accidentally move anything around. It's safe. It's free from your human error. And you can do that with any of these. You can lock all these, do all that stuff. So really simple to control. Yes, very similar, Panda, to OBS, how you can lock things down. Let me have a vape. All right, let's talk about dragging and dropping things in to our projects. We'll go back to our photos here. Now, you've got two methods of dragging and dropping images into the timeline, and they can get a little bit confusing, but hopefully I can walk you through this and help you out with the confusion. So over here, we have this arrow. There it is. How can I move? This arrow here, there it is. I can grab it. That arrow right there. It's very important to pay attention to. And if you're ever confused about what all these buttons do, there is a wonderful little help thing over here. And if I hit help, I think I can show them. Do I hold down on it? I think I hold down. Hold down. Yeah. So you just hold down on the little help and look what it does. It brings up all these little buttons that tell you what things are. So if you get lost, yeah. And the difference between these arrows over here is insert. So if we hold down again, you can see it's called insert and overwrite. That is the difference. So insert, this is to insert, and overwrite. And I'll show you how these work. So if I grab a video here with the arrow pointed down, or let's just take something out of here. If I want to remove this first and I delete this, you'll notice that it leaves a space. It leaves a nice space for me to put something else in there. This is in the arrow down section, right? If I, let's put that back, that image, and I have this set to the arrow pointing that way, and now remove that same image, the video, the rest of the tracks, everything that's coming after drops back and it fills that space. So you have to be very aware of this. And I'm sure there's many of you who may have used LumaFusion and wondered, why do I keep removing this and it keeps taking it? Everything moves, or my whole project moves. This is why. So if we bring this out, now what you'll notice, if I now go back here and import a clip, the import clips work differently as well between these two modes. So if I grab, say, this, what do we got? Do we have another video here? We've got some drone flight footage here. If I now drag this in and put this over this video here, we get this come up. So this is our overwrite section. It says 3 options: replace clip, keep timeline duration, overwrite for the duration of the new clip, or cancel the replace. So if we replace this clip and keep the timeline duration, it has kept the same amount of time from the Gordon Ramsay clip to put in the brand new clip that we replaced it with. But if we bring in this clip and choose overwrite the duration, watch what it does. It overwrites everything else that came after it. So this is why you need to really pay attention to what is going on when you're importing this stuff, or you can just end up overwriting everything that's behind. Let's undo that. And now if we change this to our arrow going the other way and drop this in, it has now put the clip in, but moved everything else that was behind back. So it's actually placed it into the video and given and kept everything that's behind. So it's important to understand what you're doing with this. Let's remove that clip again. Hello, Dwight. I hope you're doing well. And let's shorten this clip because it's a little bit long. So again, we'll just drag this, we'll say to about here. Choose our clip. And now again, we'll do that again. So if I drag this in to our gap, you can see everything's just moved back Yes. So let's talk about overwriting. Yes, there are transitions. We covered it in the last video, transitions, but I will talk a little bit about it today. Let's even take this a little bit smaller. Make that even smaller, this clip. So what happens when I drag a clip over this clip here, over the Gordon Ramsay? All right, so we now have it pointed down. So we've covered this. Keep the timeline duration, or new clip duration, or use a new clip duration. So we can do that again. Now that has written over, but kept part of the other video. So you'll understand just by messing around with it. When we go back to arrow down here, what happens when I drag this over? Say let's drag it over half of this Gordon Ramsay clip. So it will cut off half of the Gordon Ramsay clip, but keep the rest of this stuff, but just move it back. So you've got options, multiple ways to import clips, to change up the timelines, and just be aware that the arrow pointing down is the one that most people will use, yeah? But when you open a project, it's always set to the arrow pointing to the right. So most of the time I start a new project, I will straight away click my arrow pointing down. Now what happens if while I'm in this arrow pointing down, if I remove this Gordon Ramsay clip and we're left with a space, what happens when I change back to our little arrow? Look what it does. It adds a blank clip in here to make up the space. Because if you're aware, if I now delete this blank clip, remember what I showed you earlier, whatever's behind will move forward. So if you've got it set in down mode here, and then you change modes, it will put in a blank clip in there to make up the space. So yeah, I always turn the arrow down. And then later on, like it depends on what I'm doing. Like if I want to bring in a clip to overwrite two clips at the same time, then I will change the arrow for that certain way. But yeah, let's bring in Gordon Ramsay again by doing an undo, undo, undo. There he is. He's back. Okie doke. So you noticed before I dragged in this clip here of me sitting down over the top of this clip. So I want to do so we've got this clip sitting over the top on the track above. And yeah, it's Thomas Christ writes here, same here. I just instinctively turn the arrow down, or so I says I flip between modes depending on what I'm doing. Yeah, so you have the option to flip between these modes. So if we have a quick look here, so we've got this video that I've added on the track above. Now let's talk about this section here. So I'll zoom in a little bit, and what you'll notice as I added this video on top, you see this line? If we zoom in, see this little white line we have here? Just at the front there it is. This means that the clip is attached now to the clip underneath. So whenever you drag something in, the clip will automatically attach to the clip underneath. So now if I want to move this bottom clip, see how the clip is attached to it? So wherever I move this, it's going to move with it. So if we go in here, I don't want to do that. We want to cancel replace. And I'm going to go this way. So now let's talk about moving stuff around. So now with the arrow set to pointing to the right, I can actually place this clip in between Gordon Ramsay, right? And it's moved the whole lot. It's moved the clip above, and I can now move this to the front of the project, and it's taken along this clip at the top as well because they're joined together. Now, say if I grab this dancing man, and we'll drag the dancing man now. Let's bring him and put him above. You'll notice here that now this clip is attached as well. So now when I move this bottom one, all three of these move around. So they're all attached. So this is very handy for if you have a whole bunch of clips that you want to move around together, but you want to keep them all locked. Or even if you've got some sound effects. Let's show you that. Let's bring in a sound effect, right? So let's go to Storyblocks and just find a sound effect here. Maybe one day. What have we got? So we got a glass bottle. What's this? A whoosh. We'll drag this sound effect in here and just add that down the bottom here to our audio channels. So as I've mentioned here, this line, let's cover this. This line here is track 1 of your video. Everything you add above becomes track 2, track 3, track 4, track 5. You can have 6 tracks of video and audio above, and anything below this line is audio only. So that's why I've added this audio track down here. And you'll notice too, this audio track has locked to these clips as well. So now if I pick them up, everything's attached. So this is very handy if you've gone in and created a clip and you've attached a whole bunch of sound effects that have to match up perfectly. Really good for that. But if you want to unlock these, I don't want these unlocked. You can unlock them very easily. So there's a few ways you can do it. And if we go back to this screen, you'll notice over here, in any of the tracks above and below our main track, there's this little chain link here. And these chain links unattach the files from the main track here, yeah? Yeah, it is. It's very small. It is hard to see. But I'm going to click these now and watch what happens. You can see now that audio file is no longer linked. And if I click this one, bang, bang. Now all these files are no longer linked to this main file. And what that means is now any other clip that I add going forward to this one, this one, this one, anything that has these chain links turned on, they will not automatically connect to the main video. So there you go. You can see it's not connected. But if I turn this back on, watch, they're all linked again. So both of these audio tracks are now linked again. If I turn these back on, everything's now all linked again. And I can just grab and they're all linked again. Very easy to link. Again, there is another way to do this. You have a little chain link button down the bottom here. So if I click on, now you need to ensure that you have the main video selected. And if we click on the chain link, all of them are now disconnected in one go. So they're all disconnected. And if I add something else now down below, like another audio track, watch what happens. That one is connected. It is linked to this because this chain link is not activated. But all the others have been disconnected. And if I want to reconnect the others, I can hit the chain link and let's do it. And it hasn't done it. It's because I added the extra link in here. So there you go. Oh, that's why. It's because I didn't have the main channel selected. So if I click the main clip and now turn it on, they all come on, they all go off. So you can see the little lines coming back. So it's really easy to unlink and link and do all that stuff. And you can have whole projects where, you know, you just link everything up and then are easy to drag these, move them elsewhere in your project. Super, super cool. And, you know, it can be a little bit confusing. So hopefully some of this has helped understand the linking and unlinking of these clips. All right, let's talk about these functions down the bottom here. Okie dokie. So we have and again, if you're not sure what these things are, just by the pictures, always just click. And you can see we have duplicate, detach audio, link, unlink, edit clips, presets, clipboard, multi-select, split, add clip, and remove. These are your toolbars down the bottom. What happens when I click on this one and I have a clip selected? So let's just click on the dancing man. And if I click on this, it makes a direct copy of that file above, on the channel above. So now I can move this wherever I want And I can make another copy of that if I want. And I can move him there. And I can make another copy if I want. So you can make as many copies of these as you want. And you can see they're all linked again to this whole project. So again, I can just move those around. If I want to unlink them, just unlink at my leisure. Let's talk about audio files, because that is the next section here. And this is for splitting audio files from your video files. Yeah. So if you want to remove an audio file from this, say you want to do some editing, you actually want to keep the audio file separate for a transition or something, you can do so. Very easy. We'll do it with this one. So you click on your file and then hit this button down here, and it will tear the audio out of the video clip and put it into one of these audio channels. So now you have the flexibility to mess with this audio track and maybe go in and put a filter on it, whatever you like. You can use an AUV3 on it. You can speed it up, and it will be independent from this video file. But in saying that, the audio file is still in this video track. It just gets automatically muted. So if I play back some of this, it's only playing, you can see here, apart from our sound effects there, it's playing the audio from this video down here. But the audio is still in this channel. It's just been muted until I remove this. Now, if I delete this audio and hit play, let's go back over here and hit play. The audio's gone. I was wrong. I hate when I'm wrong. Where's our audio in here? Can we bring it back in here? There is the audio, and we'll just make sure that it is. Where's our gain? So there you go. The gain is now being turned down in here. So I need to turn it back up to bring back that audio. So now if we hit play, should be, it's back. So the beautiful thing is too, once you split the audio from here, let's do it again. Let's split the audio from this. You can make multiple splits of this. I can make 1, 2, 3. I can make another one. And then you could go in and chop these up. So let's not do that. Let's undo that. You can shorten one of these. Then you could take this one. If you only wanted certain segments of this, chop it up in here. And then you're like, hang on a minute. I don't need 3 tracks of audio. Then you could just drag them up into their places. So you've got a lot of options with audio and chopping things up and tooling around with the audio, which is nice. And you can do that with any track. So any video track that has audio, you can split that audio down into these audio tracks with the audio button. Now you can see this one, when I click on it, there's no option to remove audio. That's because this clip has no audio. And it will become obvious that it has no audio because there's no option to do it. All right, so next along the line here is the edit button. We've covered the linking button down here. We have our editing button. Now, we're not going to be covering editing today, but basically, when I click on it, it takes you into your clip editor, your video editor, whatever you've got selected. Or you can double click on your videos like that. You can double click on your videos to get to this editor. Or you can use the little pencil down here to get to the editor. We're going to be covering the editor in the next video next week and looking at that a bit more close to you. Alrighty. So next on the line is our effects. Now, what's really cool about the effects section here is this is like a quick draw to a section that's in your editing. So just quickly, we'll head over to the editor. And over here, we have all our colors, all these sections here of colorization, distortion, all this kind of stuff, blur, all that kind of stuff up there. And didn't need you to do that. And this little folder down here is like a little favorites section where you can have quick access to any of those sections. So if I click through these, you've got like all these motion blurs, some audio effects. So if you don't want to go into the edit button, you can quickly just access these things. So I could click like a, what do we do in here? We'll do like a, so we can change our image quickly to a red or whatever we want. We can add these effects however we want, nice and quickly, yeah? So that's, but we'll cover that in a bit more detail on another show, which will be next week. Just open that up, and you can see what's happened when I've done that. It's added these effects here. So it's added a whole bunch of color grading stuff here for us to mess with. Yeah, so it's just like a quick, let's delete this, get rid of these, boom. So yeah, we'll cover that next week. Here is our clipboard. So the clipboard's really handy because you can, say you've added some effects to this video. Let's just do it really quickly, even though I'm not covering it. And we'll go into our effects. We'll grab like a contrast effect here. Here's our contrast, and let me get rid of these video scopes. And we'll just turn up the brightness. What is going on? Why is this video not adding anything? Why is we not getting any contrast? I have no idea. That's weird. Oh yeah, we got some contrast there, I think. Did we? Is there any difference? We'll do it on the man. We'll do it on the man. We'll try the man. Let's do the man. Let's add a, what do we want? We'll do a black and white. Can we do, or we'll just do a blur. Right, so we've done a blur on this dude, right? So this little folder down here allows you, oh, did I have the wrong layer selected? Probably. This allows you to copy any effects that you have, right? So we've added this blur. So now I can open this folder down here and I can hit copy, and then I can paste this blur into another project like so. And what happens is when I go to paste these things in, it gives you the options of these attributes. So if I hit paste now and do the paste, now this video underneath has been blurred as well. So you can copy attributes very easily and add them to other videos, other sounds, all that kind of stuff. Again, we'll cover this more when we're looking at editing. Another cool thing is, what I can do is, let's turn all these off. I'm just going to turn all these off here. And then I'm going to select a video. Let's select this video. And then I'm going to hit copy. I'm going to turn all these off. I'm going to hit copy. And if I put my timeline at the end here and just hit paste, it will copy the entire clip over. So it's almost like using the double up, the copy clip over here. So you can copy the clip that way and paste it in. So just show you that again one more time. Say if we go into this clip here, make sure all these are turned off because I don't want to copy any of the attributes, or you can leave them on. It's up to you. And if I hit copy and then take my timeline to the end here and hit paste in here, it will paste the entire clip. So you've got that option as well. Pretty cool. All right, let's talk about this section down here. This is your like selector tool. Once you select this, you have the option to drag with your finger or your mouse and select an entire section, all this stuff, and move it where you want. So you've got that option there. And what you'll notice is, see the differences in color here? So this one's a completely different color to this one. And the reason for that, I can't remember actually. What is the reason for that? it's man, my brain. I give up. The reason for that, it will come back to me, I think. If we drag and select all these, see these are one color, and if we drag this, it's by itself. So it's because this has no other images that are above or underneath. That is the reason why that is. So if we drag this, you can see this is just a lone image where this has images that are underneath and above. So it's really neat that it gives you this little coloring. You've probably never noticed it before and gone, you know, but there is this little shader here that just lets you know there's nothing underneath there. So that's really handy. What you can do with this so you have to have this turned on to do your selecting. But what you can do is once this is turned on, you can individually pick clips within here. Yeah? So you don't need to take them all, but you'll notice I've just selected these 4. But of course, when I move them, look at this. Look what it's done. How interesting is this? Let's just change this over here. And I move this. It's moved all of these except for these, even though they were connected, even though they were joined with the chain link, it's actually allowed you to remove them away because they were selected from using the selector. So if we go back, so there are other ways around the selector as well. Let's click out of here. So there's your selector, really easy to use. You just click down here and drag to whatever you want. Super cool. And the way it works with the selector too is as soon as you get to a full coverage of a clip, it lights up. Yeah, so if you only you want just these 2 clips and you stop here, you're not going to get them both. You have to actually cover the entire clip to include it into a drag. Yeah. Super, super good stuff. And to deselect, you can either click off or just do this or just do that. So you have a trim button as well. Let's talk about the trim. Pretty standard stuff, yeah, for a trim. Let's just remove the effect from this clip. Goodbye to you. Thank you for your time. You served us well. We'll remove the effect from the dancing man with our edit button down here. Because we want to see him because he's amazing, isn't he? He is the man with the plan. And we need to remove the effect from this clip too. Boom, 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 boom. Done deal. All right, now we've got all our footage back working here. So the trim button, it's pretty standard stuff. You can zoom in by pinching your timeline here. So you can zoom all the way in. All right, Lee, take care. I didn't say hello to you. Sorry, Lee. So did you notice then, I'll show you here with this camera, to zoom to pinch, to zoom in, you use 2 fingers, but wait, there's a quicker way and you may not know this. So you can pinch to zoom in and you see, as you zoom, see how the color changes of the of our line. And what's really good is once that color changes, so you are aware, we'll zoom in so you can see it happening in real time. Once, if I see it change there, that means that the bar is selected on a frame. So if you pay close attention, it's kind of hard to see. See down here, that's on 1 frame. So that's zoomed in enough to let you know it's on 1 frame. So you can tell straight away by that color change. And then as you go out, you'll see clearly that it is 1 frame that it is connected to. So again, these subtle little color changes between our marker there. But if you want to zoom in quick, did you know you can do this? If you double click, see how I double clicked there and it zoomed out? Good stuff. So you can double click anywhere in your timeline and it'll zoom back in. Double click, out, double click, in. But if you triple click with your fingers, it zooms all the way in and it gives you that wide bar. I'll show you this again. So with my finger, 1, 2, zooms all the way out, 1, 2, zooms in to the last place you had it. And if you do 3, it zooms all the way in. So I know there's probably many of you who've been out there with your fingers going, trying to get in to that point. That's an easy way to zoom in and out. Just 2 taps, 2 taps, and 3 taps to get all the way in. Really good stuff. I love these little features. It does make your life a lot easier. Plus, while we're talking about this and we're heading to our cut section, you'll notice when I clip on one of these clips up here, which we talked about earlier, it gives us a look at our timeline. We'll go back to a video. All right, Dan, take care. I'm about to wrap up soon. We're getting close to wrapping up. These things normally go a little bit longer than usual. What do we got? Where's the video? We'll click on this drone flight video. So you'll notice up here, when you've clicked on this image, we've covered all this, the timeline. But when you click on an image down here, this changes up here. See, we've got these colored bars. Let's zoom in. This is a quick and easy way for you to navigate through your timeline. And you can see it gives you a representation of the timeline below. Let's zoom back so you can see here there's 2 clips. And you can see as we move along, you have an easier way to zoom through. Now, if I, again, hold down our play, I don't think it works. We can move through our clip the same as what we do in the preview section. So all you need to do is hold down on the play. And again, you can move frame by frame if you need to. So I'm sure you've all many times been sitting here going, you know, I want to get to this bit here. Again, you can zoom in, and even while you're zoomed out of the timeline, you've got this little action bar up here, kind of like what you get on a MacBook Pro with the touch bar. That's what I kind of see this as. So you can skip 2 frames at a time. See, I'm just leaving it there, and it's skipping by it. It's moving along by itself like a slow-mo play until I get to where I want. I can bring it down to 1 frame at a time. So again, these little hidden features that are in here that are quite spectacular and will really help you with your time-saving stuff. So now let's chop some stuff up. We have our cut and paste here. Boom. Easy to use. Super simple to use to chop things up. If you want to get rid of them, once you chop them, you get these little handles. You can move clips around. You can change the size of these things as well. Super easy to chop things. It's a cut button. What can I tell you? It chops stuff up. It makes it nice and easy. Let's move on to the next one. So we have our plus section here. Here's where you can add extra things to your track. You can add a voiceover. So if we click this, it brings this little recorder bar down here. And whatever you've got connected to your iPad or your iPhone, I currently have my audio interface connected. So if I record anything from here, I can hit record, and it will record whatever I talk into my microphone because my interface is connected. But if your iPad or iPhone isn't connected to a mic and you hit record, it'll be the microphone on your iPhone or iPad. Pretty easy to understand that. And you can add a voiceover. Say you needed to add something that you forgot to in post, you can go ahead and do that. You also can add transitions from here as well. And how that works is, whatever transition you last had selected over in transitions, let's go over to transitions, will automatically get dragged into this mix here. So we're in transitions up here. I can either drag this in, or if I choose the dip transition, now go over here and hit, it's not going to let me drag that because I have nothing selected. But now if I go up here and hit transition, it brings in a cross dissolve. There you go. So I didn't know that. It actually just brings in a cross dissolve. But let's see what it does if I have this selected. So there you go. It adds in a cross dissolve. I wasn't sure about that. Let's remove those. Goodbye to you. Goodbye. Thank you. Goodbye. Also, you may notice here when I hold down on this particular clip here, it's blanking out these options and only giving me an overlay title. So if I click an overlay title, what this does is it gives me an overlay above the video that I have selected, and I can add my text, can do whatever I want in there. We'll cover all these overlays in the next show. But if I click on the main video channel here, you'll notice I've got more options. So when you're on the main channel is when you get more options. And these more options include a main title, because this is looking at the main video channel as a main title. So, and you get the overlay title. They're pretty much a same kind of thing again, but it will add the title next to instead of above and where the marker is. So we'll remove that. So if I want to come in here, we'll zoom in there, 3. And if I set my marker right there and bring in a main title, it will add that title to the beginning of that clip. So it won't be above. So that is the difference between the titles. The main title is next to or behind or in the middle of the clip, and the overlay titles will put it in the lane above. Blank clip. Why is the blank clip here and not in the other section? Let me show you when I hit blank clip. It adds in a blank clip, which is to do with these arrows here. So now if I change our editing style over here, you'll notice that blank clip will disappear, what we covered earlier. So now we've just got a gap there. But once we go change, it adds the blank clip back. So you can add blank clips in. So you've got all these options to do that as well. So that is that section there. Let's talk about some transitions and rippling, because this stuff's important. Now, adding things like titles, adding blank clips, adding these things, you can access all of this stuff in the settings. So if we go to settings and we go into ducking, we'll go in here. Where are we? You'll notice here we've got these clip defaults, and you can change these to whatever you want. So every time you add a photo, I've got mine set to 6 seconds, or a title, 6 seconds, or a transition, 2 seconds. You can change these to what you want. So this is an overall for these. So an absolute overall. So you can go in and sort these out. And the other section I want to cover here is in here. Where are we? Let me make sure I'm at the right place. Ripple main track for transition insert. Now, there may be a lot of you out there who are like, what is rippling? What is a ripple? How does the ripple work? The ripple is in relation to adding transitions. So with some clips, let's try it with, we'll bring this over here. We'll delete this. We'll delete this. When you add a transition into your videos, you sometimes will lose a piece of the video for the transition. Let's show you what I mean. So I want to drag this cross dissolve in here. What I'm going to do is just go over here and change the settings to 2 seconds for my dissolves. For my, oh, they are 2 seconds. Cool. So I'm going to drag this transition in. I've lost my spot now. We're going to do it right here in between these two clips. So if I drag in my transition, if you drag it in between, we'll show you that again. If I drag this in, oh man, let's zoom out, dude. If I drag this transition in one day, you notice you've got 3 places to bring this in. You've got the beginning, you've got in the middle, or at the end. Now, if I want it to transition in between, what happens is it takes part of the 2 clips and it uses them for the transition, and it shortens, it feels like it shortens a clip. So if we go over here, let's remove that transition, scroll to the end, and look where this clip ends. We'll zoom in. 106.27. So that's the end of this clip. Now if we go here and add our transition in, and now go to the end of this, it's 105.16. So we've lost a piece of time out of our clip, because the rippling effect takes part of the clip to it's like an overlap of each clip to make the transition dissolve well, to make it actually look okay. Now you can change this. you can change this. You can go into your settings and you can turn off this effect. You can scroll down to ripple main track for transition insert. You can turn this off. But what will happen, check this out, if we drag this in, cannot insert transition. There's not enough media in both clips for the transition. Please enable ripple main track for transition insert in settings, or trim the clips or transition to assure there is enough media to flow through the entire transition. You may have seen this before. Why they add the ripple in here is to make it easy for you, but more experienced people with transitions and stuff will understand about trimming these clips or adding a larger, so we can go in here and say we can trim this down. Let's go in here and bring this in. See, I'm not even sure what I'm doing right now, but it's best to have it on for most people. If you're more experienced at transitioning clips and such, you're going to want this on pretty much all the time. So there we go. Let's turn that on. So another option in here too, talking about linking and unlinking. When a track is locked, you can turn this feature on. Unlink a track when it is locked. So when you lock down a track, so if you don't want to move it, it will unlink. And the reason it does that is it's not going to move anyway, right? So if you've locked that track, if you've locked two tracks, it's going to change that anyway. So that's another thing you can have on. Is there anything else I need to cover today with transitions? So transitions, let's just talk about transitions, the last thing for the day. Transitions also transition audio, and you need to be aware of this. Say we add a dip in between two tracks that have audio, you will get, we can do it with this. Let's delete this. We'll make a copy of this. And so if I add a transition, say a dip transition between these two tracks that have audio, it will lower the audio because, and I've got no audio coming through. Nice one. I don't know why. I've probably got to turn this up, I think. Is that right? Audio gain. Yep. That would help, wouldn't it? We'll do that quickly. Gain. See that? So transitions do affect the audio. The way around that, of course, is to remove the audio, is to split the audio. Oops, that was the wrong button. Split the audio. Oops. And then you won't get, but see, I've done it while that dip is in there. So let's go right back. Let's remove the dip. And now if I split this audio out before the dip, and now add our dip transition in there, we've still got our audio. So you need to be aware of that. There you go. I think that's most of the stuff that I can cover for today. For that, in a loud bar, just stopping in to say hi, I'll catch the replay. Awesome stuff. Good to see you, Mars. Hope you have a drink for me. So enjoy that drink. Good times, good times. So you can imagine what we'll do in the next video, we will go into the edit stuff and we'll cover more about transitions because there's a lot of really nifty tricks you can do with transitions and audio and, creating transitions yourself that aren't in here. Because these aren't just the transitions that you get. You can go into the edit screen and use coloring to create interesting transitions with the animations. There's a lot you can do, and we'll cover that more next week. But that is pretty much your timeline. Plus, I didn't cover this. You've got your main volume over here. So this is your main volume. You can mute this at any time. You can change the volume of individual tracks here as well. We covered muting those as well. Removing channels from here. Super easy stuff. There you go. We've made a great movie today. Look at this. What a fantastic film we've made today. With a weird dancing man. Yeah. Some stupid effects. This is Steven Spielberg would be proud of this movie. How cool was that sound effect? It made no fucking sense whatsoever. But hopefully you can take something away from this and understand the timeline a little bit more, and you've got a little bit of a understanding with your, fancy little shortcuts, because that's, I think, something that most of you maybe didn't know about with the shortcuts. Good stuff. I didn't even cover this. This is our... We'll cover that in the next one. Boom. Good. Yeah. All right. I'm going to probably go out today and play. Let's clear all this. Let's drag it all out and really easily delete the entire thing. Yeah. And look at that. Isn't that weird? We've got these clips which don't even exist. This is a bug. Let me get out of here. Let me come back. No. Nice bug, LumaFusion. You just had an update, guys. What's going on? Let's open it back up and see if those files are still there. I bet they're gone now. Maybe. Is LumaFusion going to open? Look at this. There it is. Now they're gone. So we've got a clean palette here. Let's go back to our photos, and we'll end today with, let's play a video clip. Let's just drag a video. Something you may have seen before. Where were we? It was in... imported other app, maybe. Where am I going? I don't know what I'm doing. Why are people watching this? I have no idea what is happening. We'll drag this one in. Does it have sound? Yes, it's got sound. We'll go out and play this. Awesome. What's coming up tomorrow? Let me tell you what's coming up tomorrow before we do this. We are looking at not Olivia Newton-John. We're doing her on the... I'm not doing her on the weekend. I'll be singing her songs. I won't be doing her. That would be very weird right now. Tomorrow we're looking at Terraverse, and it's wicked. It's wicked. It's unbelievable. You're not going to want to miss it. It's cheap, and it's fucking sick. That is tomorrow. The day after, we are doing Sunriser, which is another awesome app that's on sale at the moment. And then at the end of the week, we're doing an interview with... I can't find it because it's... probably right in front of me, but I can't see it. Valerie Bart is coming on the show for an interview. There you go. Thanks for being here, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show. Remember, do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better. And we shall all rise together. And I'm going to go out today by playing this video that I shot with my drone and put together in LumaFusion, because LumaFusion is wicked. Love it, love it, love it. We're at the beginning of the video, maybe? I don't know. Let's remove this clip and select the whole clip and bring it in. Alrighty, we'll drag it in. And this is something I made with my drone and edited in LumaFusion. And I'll see you tomorrow. Boom. Boom.